All right, so this is the image that I picked for understanding scopes because it is just completely off. It's the white balance on it is just out of whack. With the help of scopes, we're going to be creating this in no time. So the first thing that I want to do is pick a hero frame. Hero frame is going to be something that's going to give me the most amount of information in a shot, which is this. I get to see the skin tones, I see the background, I see the shoes. So I have tons of different reference points to get my white balance just right. So in order to see your scopes, what you want to do is right click in the canvas here and say show scopes. And let's go through it really quick. I like to do 4-up formation. So this option right here. And on the left, I have parade. Right, I have waveform. Bottom left, vector scope. And then bottom right, histogram. So in the beginning, it's not going to tell us any story, okay? Because we need to pump in some information. We got to give it some data for it to start generating some information that we need. So first thing that I'm going to do is give this image some contrast. So let's just say we park it somewhere around here and maybe a little bit more. And then I'm going to bring my gamma up so we can just see a little bit more detail. I'm going to bring the gain down because the shoes are just kind of losing the detail that they should have. And then I'm going to park my gamma somewhere around here. Now what I want to do is just go under my log wheels, and this gives me a more finite control. And what I want to do is I want to pull my shadows down to get deeper blacks. And I don't want to affect everything. You see how this is affecting this area right here because it's just grabbing it from a point where I don't want it to grab it from. So in order to control where it grabs the shadows, you use your low range. So what I want to do is I want to say, hey, pull it down and only grab the lowest low end areas like the hair, but leave everything else as is. Now it's looking much better. So I'm going to create a new node by hitting Option S, and then let's give it some saturation. So I usually for Alexa mini footage, I do 65. So let's just click right here and do 65. That gives us enough juice to work off of. And that's what I meant when I said we got to put in some information. Now everything is accentuated. We really get to see what's happening here. So if I look at my waveform, just look at how dominant the color red is in this image, and we can see that. Then look at where the green is sitting and how low the blue is. So when the blue is this low, that means there's tons of yellow in the shot. That's what's happening because blue is right here, yellow is right here. So if blue is absent, then there's more of yellow. So always remember your complementary colors. If red is missing, then there's a lot of cyan. If magenta is missing, then there's tons of green. So once you know that, it's really easy to balance out your image. Another thing that you need to see here is in the parade, we can also see how offset our colors are. Like look at how heavy the red is up top, and we can see that. Now let's just say if your monitor is not calibrated, this is why it's so important to understand scopes and what's happening, because you can just rely on this for the most part. And then I see my entire image is sitting in this orange world, and that's not where we want our image to be. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, I'm going to go right here in my primaries. And guys, I cannot stress enough to tell you guys to use your primaries wheels, okay? Because so many people just jump in here, they start like messing around with their RGB curves, or they would go in the log wheels and start messing with things like as their first node. Don't do that to yourself. You're going to break your image. You don't want that. This is going to make sure that your image stays pristine. Stick with this. You can do some miracles by sticking with that. Okay, so first thing that I want to do is I want to start off with my lift. And right now I'm just looking at this, okay? Let's focus on this scope right here. And I'm looking at that right now and how my red, green, and blue are separated. I want it to be together, like joined up. And once it joins, it's going to turn into white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pulling this, all of it close to each other. So look what's happening. I'm bringing it close to each other and boom. So now if I do before and after, like just look at the image, I'm starting to balance it out. That's what's happening. I'm starting to balance it out. So, and you can even see it here. Like now we're lining it up and the blue can come down a little bit, I think. So something like that for now. I'm going to leave it there. Now what I want to do is I want to take my gain. So I'm going to start subtracting some red and bringing in some blue. And I'm going to put it somewhere around here for now. Now I see it here that there's more work that needs to be done, but that's okay. We're going to do that in a minute. Now I want to go in my gamma, and there's just way too much red and green, and I want to pull all that. So in order to do that, I'm going to just take my gamma and first start just pulling it down and then a little bit to the right. And I'm going to park it somewhere around here. And look at how much white we're seeing now. That means we're balancing out our image. So you see the white here, the white there. That means the shoe is right here. This is the shoe. And the shoe is the product. And if the product is looking right, now we're getting in the right ballpark, okay? Now what I want to do is I want to take my lift and I want to bring it down a little bit. I'm going to park it somewhere around here. Start paying attention to everything now. Like, look at her skin is coming back. Like, skin is looking real nice. Like, all the natural colors, even like her lipstick, everything is looking really good. The shoe is where it's supposed to be. The black points are where they're supposed to be. And now if I do before and after, just look at where we started to where we ended up. Like, we can see in the back now, you know, this is green, this is blue, you know, and we can see all these colors. Before it was just a tint on everything. Like, look at her face and look at it now and how easy we got there just by using scopes. I was literally just moving my wheels based on the scopes. I was trying to just hit those points. That's what was going on here. Now what I'm going to do is create another node by hitting Option S. And this is where the secret sauce happens. And that's my signature method. And what I do is now I look at the image and I go, what is there an axis of, and what do I want to pull out of this image? And I see there's still some green that's just sitting in the bones of this image that I want to pull out a little bit. So in order to do that, if the green is right here, then I want to go in the opposite direction. So I'm going to take my offset here in my primaries wheels, and I'm going to start pushing it up, but be very gentle here, okay? It just took the tint out of her skin. Look at the back. That is looking more white now. And we can even see that there's a little bit more green up top here in my shoe. And now it's looking pure white. Again, that's our hero. Shoe is the hero. And we want to work around that. And now even it took out the little dingy green that we were seeing here. It took care of that. So I'm going to turn all of these off and just like kind of revisit the whole thing. So we started off with our contrast, okay? And then we balanced out our image using the primaries wheels. Again, do most of your heavy lifting in the primaries wheels. You will be surprised what you can do. Then we added saturation up to 65 because I know I work with Alexa Mini so much that I know this is the sweet spot to get all the colors in the right ballpark. And we added that in. And then once we did that, it started revealing everything in the scopes. We started seeing what needed to be fixed. And then I went in using my primaries wheels to dial everything in. I started with my lift. And then once our lift was looking good, I went into my gain and I tried to put our hero, which is our shoes, in the right ballpark. Then I took my gamma and just adjusted everything. And the gamma, for most of the time, gamma is going to be your main player in anything. Like if you're creating a look or if you're balancing out your image, gamma is going to be the major player in all of those areas. Then finally, I created another node, and that's where I just grabbed my offset and took out this little tint that we still had left in our image, which was this, you know, dingy green color. And I took care of that. And now everything is looking crisp, ready to go. This can be applied from shot to shot or on the entire project if this was the look that we were going for. So that's how you attack scopes.